How's it? Welcome back to the channel. So let's hop into The New Frontiers of Lucid Dreaming by James Bray. And I talked a little bit about James in my first post about his book, but he really is like one of the OGs in the lucid dreaming content creation space. He used to go by Space Time Badass, which is a very cool name if you ask me. Now he goes by Beyond Lucid Dreaming though. And if my memory serves me correctly, I think he used to work pretty closely with Daniel Love, but I was doing some quick Google searching on it just now, and I couldn't really find much of them together, but regardless, both of them used to push back and fight against some of the more fantastical ideas that, surround the lucid dreaming space, of which this first part of the book we're going to get into kind of gets at. So this is from page 1 of his introduction. The voices that have risen to prominence in the lucid dreaming space often display values that are in many ways antithetical to the mindset that lucid dreaming promotes, and as such have continued to hold the topic back. Since lucid dreaming occupies a rather unique blind spot of our scientific knowledge for like dreams and consciousness, a space has been left open for people to profit off its mystique by weaving intricate fictions about it. So when I read that, stuff like shared dreaming, prophetic dreams, being able to roam waking reality in your astral body and spy on your neighbors, or being able to heal yourself through lucid dreams from some sort of injury, illness, or disease you may have. And now I'm not saying all those things are definitely impossible. Like, to me, everything's on the table until definitively proven otherwise. And some of those things I see as being more possible than others. Like, to me, being able to roam waking reality in your astral body and spy on your neighbors is pretty close to totally impossible in my mind. But then when it comes to stuff like on the other end of that scale, to being able to heal yourself through lucid dreaming, that to me has to, at the bare minimum, work on the placebo level. And we all know how strong, the placebo effect can be. And I can't imagine a better environment to have the most impactful, placebo-inducing experience than from within a dream, where literally, anything is possible. Any type of experience can be had within that space. But I think the problem is that those types of ideas surrounding lucid dreaming have really grown to dominate the space. So like when people on the outside are looking into the practice, those are the first types of things that they see, and it can give them a false sense of what the practice is really capable of. But to me, I don't really see it as necessarily such a bad thing, because if that brings more people into the practice, and then say through years of practice and say learning how to astral project or something like that, in that process they learn how to lucid dream, and then say, after years of practicing and experimenting with it, they land more on the side of like, me and Daniel Love and James tend to be on, versus like the full-on, astral projectors, where a lot of them think you could really roam waking reality in your astral body or not. Even if they end up landing more on the side that I tend to land on, as long as I got them into the practice, I think that's overall a good thing. And the other thing is too is like, I don't see anything wrong with coming to the practice just to simply have the fun and pleasure-seeking side of lucid dreaming. Like, to me, that's a completely viable reason to get into the practice. So if you get into the practice for other reasons, but then find out, hey, I'm just going to use it to have fun and pleasure seek, that's awesome. how many amazing experiences will you have off of that? Plus then, in order to really do this lucid dreaming practice thing correctly, you got to really start getting good sleep, 7-8 hours plus. And so it can have a lot of, downstream health effects for that, make you cool with sleeping earlier and doing all those types of things. So anyway, I think that will wrap up this first video here on the book. If you're into lucid dreaming, meditation, sleep, or anything like that, feel free to check out my work, like, comment, subscribe, and do all those things, share it. And until the next video, keep the lucid dreaming practice legit. 2 more things I thought I should put into the last video is, I already talked about 2 of the 4 examples of some of these more fantastical ideas around lucid dreaming. That was being able to heal yourself through a lucid dream, and then my thoughts around being able to actually like roam waking reality in your astral body or something like that. But what about prophetic dreams and then shared or mutual dreaming experiences? So when it comes to prophetic dreams, I know there's a lot of stories, of anecdotal stories of people having had those really all throughout history, right? But I haven't had any myself. Should I have one at some point, I'm happy to, potentially switch sides of my beliefs then. But when it comes to shared or mutual dreaming experiences, I've had a lot of those that really seemed and felt like I was interacting with something outside of myself, whether that be another dreamer or some like godlike being that's, external to me. But I also don't see why your mind isn't completely easily capable of serving you up an experience like that, whether it really was the case or not. And of course, I've never had any. I did do several experiments in trying to have a real solid, like verifiable mutual shared dreaming experience. None of those have ever hit. But on the other side of that though, like when you feel like you're interacting with some like godlike being outside of you, I've had those as well. And I bring this up as an example I like to say a lot, but whether that was really me interacting with some godlike being outside of myself, or whether that was just my subconscious mind serving me up a really dope ass experience, you know, I kind of see them just as equally amazing, no matter which way, you know, it forced, because it's not gonna, whether it really was some entity outside of myself or just my subconscious mind, in the moment, it doesn't change the experience I had of it at all. Now, maybe afterwards, if I think, hey, you know, I really was interacting with God, that could kind of make it seem a bit more cooler after the fact. But, you know, no matter which fork it takes, the felt experience in the moment is still going to be the exact same. It's still going to be very moving and impactful and powerful. So, yeah, just some final thoughts on that. And yeah, that wraps it up. Peace.